citizens of the world. Shaba Shams here with another episode of Learn and Earn Podshow as we continue to inspire, empower, and connect the citizens of the world to create financial freedom and achieve success. So my guest today is Carolina Ferrero. Welcome, Carolina. So good to have you.
Thank you, Shaba. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here with you. This is my first podcast, and I'm going out of my comfort zone. I'm doing the 10x rule, like just do something that you've never done before or something uncomfortable. So I'm here.
Thank you so much for making the time. And I know you really have a busy schedule, like all the 10X community members and the 10X incubators. I mean, we just have so much going on all the time, from planning to reaching out to different people to funding to MVPs. And I can go on and on and on about how our schedule is on a daily basis packed. So thank you so much for being here. And I know you did express like a little nervousness about, especially when I said I actually don't prepare any questions, and I don't. I've been doing a show for about a year and a half now, almost 2 years. Originally, it was called Shaba Speaks, and now it's moving more into learning and earning. Helping people create success and achieve financial freedom. And it's all about inspiring, empowering, connecting, because we cannot really do anything by ourselves. And like Jared always says, together we
True,
achieve more. So
true,
super happy
true.
to have you here today. And I was very honored to connect or to have connected with you during the 10X immersion. Normally, my guests, I don't know anything about them, but it happens that I did sit at a table with you during the dinner on Saturday night after we were completely trashed uh, after the paint night, if you recall that event.
Yeah.
And I got to know you a little bit, and we just connected, heart to heart. You were just like so beautiful that I wanted to invite you to know you more and connect with you more. Granted, I can do it offline, but this is what this platform is really to bring out the beauty and the beast about the people around
Mhm.
us, and the beast, I'm saying it in a very endearing, loving way. So, Carolina, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, where do I start? I'm like an international girl. People tell me, where are you from? And I cannot really pinpoint a place because I was born in Argentina, and then I moved to Spain when I was like in my teenage years. I lived in Spain for almost like 12 years. So I did graduate. I have a bachelor's degree in economics at the university there in Barcelona, in Spain. And then I started working for a company in auditing, related to my bachelor's degree in economics. And then, things changed in my life when suddenly my father, he offered me to travel to China to help him with purchasing some, goods that he was selling in Spain. And then, one thing led to the other. I ended up in China, working for a Spanish company, and I would get to, go to all these factories and control. I was in charge of the quality control, and it was a lot of fun for me. It was a great time in my life. It was an adventure, because of the language too. I speak many different languages, so that helped me a lot. And yeah, and my life is more like an adventure. And then, I ended up here in United States. Now I'm here in Aventura, right next to 10X headquarters.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I actually drive by every day, so it's like reminds me every day that I need to do more. Every time I turn the corner, I see Cardone Enterprises, and I'm like, oh. And then I need to like it just comes to me like, I need to get more involved, do more, like, the 10x rule.
So first of all, I want to say that I love your name. When I saw Ferrero, I'm like, I had a big smile on my face because it triggered, a chocolate brand that I love. I believe it's Italian, and I couldn't help myself wondering, are you related in any case to the big chocolate industry of the Ferrero Rocher?
Maybe one of my ancestors, my great grandfather, maybe. Actually, we are Italian. Actually, my passport, I have an Italian passport. We come from
Wow.
an Italian family, but that was like grandfather was born there, and then eventually we could all be Italians by paper. Let's put it that way, because I was born in Argentina, but so yeah, I think we do have that blood, from maybe Ferrero, somehow from the same town or same place that we got that name.
Well, I would do some research and step into asking for more than just a name. I'm kidding. Um, the other thing that I wanted to bring you here and talk a little bit more about is your adventure, the more recent adventure. And I saw your bio, it's very impressive. But I was really interested in looking into you stepping into the whole tech founding or becoming a tech founder, non-tech founder. I have to say it this way. How did how did you jump into this whole world of becoming a tech founder? And your company is named ApptLink. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, we just came up with that name because it was actually a different name. It was I Book You, but because of some legal issues, it was safer to change the name. So for me, it was it was a challenge to come up with a name, and we came up with this name because it actually more or less represents what the software will do. So the name is AppLinks. So AppLinks.
AppLink. So now tell me about
AppLinks.
the idea. What is the idea and what does it do?
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I want to just explain real quick, like you said, how did I end up here? I end up here within the 10X incubator because, well, first of all, I follow Grant Cardone, so I love him and I have his books, and I completely understand what he's trying to all his ideas, what he's trying to deliver. So I do, and I agree with him. Anyway, so one of those feeds that I have from him came up with 10X incubator, and I was like, what is this? And it says, oh, bring us your idea, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a new department that Grant Cardone now has. He has all different the sales thing, the real estate, and now he's moving into this tech space, right? And then just out of frustration actually came my idea, because I'm a real estate agent here in Florida, and I've noticed my clients, and I've noticed some issues going on with trying to get hold of professionals, like, oh, I need a painter, or I need a plumber, or I need a cleaning lady. And it's always this frustration, like, oh, I cannot find one, or they don't have the timing, it's just like, they're always asking me for help to do that. And I'm saying, well, but this should be something easy to book or to get, you want a cleaning lady, this should be something easy to hire a cleaning lady. But they all have different schedules and different jobs, and then I thought, well, but if we can just make a software where every professional could place their own schedule, like their own calendar, and then this software can actually see everyone's calendar, the software can see everybody's calendar, then the software will know who's available and who's not, and the software can recommend certain people for that time that you want the service. Like, I want tomorrow, I need a plumber at 2 p.m. The software will find somebody tomorrow at 2 p.m. because the software has access to everyone's calendar. So they know they can recommend me who can do the job. And then I choose, of course, you always, unless you don't have many options and you only have one guy, you can always do that. Tell me.
So how are you envisioning to populate these calendars? Is it me, the plumber, who need to create a profile on your software or platform? Is it me, the painter, the housekeeper? So do you create a venue or a possibility for people to come to your platform, create a profile to have their calendars? Or are you tapping in a different repository or database to pull out those calendars?
Yeah, good question. Is the first one you said? Yeah, it's every professional needs to sign up for this software, this app. Okay, it's like, just so you have an idea, it's like Airbnb. Like, you put your house available to the world. So the same thing for a plumber. I'm a plumber. I'm going to put my services for the world. I'm going to put it out there. How? You need to select when are your timings, when are you busy, when are you don't want to work, you design your own calendar. And exactly like Airbnb, when you choose a house to rent for like a week or a few days, what happens? You say, I want a house on this day, December 15th, I want a house near Aventura. So what does Airbnb do? Airbnb has the calendar of every single house in the area of Aventura. So it's the same method. The software knows your calendar, knows the houses, when are the houses available, and the software will show you what's available from when you want it. So this is exactly the same, but it's with professional or independent contractors. Okay, that doesn't exist. I mean, this same way. There are some other softwares out there, but it's different. Like you need to contact them, and then whenever they're available, they'll call you back or they'll text you back, and that takes a long time. In the meantime, you don't have anyone, and you keep calling. What would you do if you need a plumber, Shaba? What would be the first thing you do, for
Probably,
example?
it depends. Like if I already have used somebody, that would be one way. A second way, if I don't, I probably can ask friends to recommend somebody, or just Uncle Google, and I go and see, and then I call. And yeah, I agree with you that sometimes it will take few calls, even with the people you've worked before, because they might be busy or out of town. Like another example would be my hairdresser. This is like the perfect frustration for me. My hairdresser is in a different town because I've tried other ones in where I live, and I not impressed. So the one I use is the one that I met 4 years ago when I moved to Florida. So I still go to him, but I am on his clock. I'm like at his mercy, and he travels quite a bit, and he's all the time out of town golfing and whatever. He loves life.
Mhm.
I respect him for that. But at the same time, it's like sometimes I don't get my haircut. Sometimes I don't get my trim, and it's frustrating. And I would
Mhm.
love to have more options. I'm very loyal to him. Let me say that. He's my first option always. But in case he's not available and I have an event, I would love to have, number two, number three, number four. And then I'm sure that if using your service, someone would be available for me. You know what I mean? So it's rather frustrating right now because you don't know what other people have.
Exactly. It's because you don't know their schedule. You don't know their calendar. So
Yeah,
exactly like you said, look, that happened to me. I needed a plumber. I go on Google, find nearest plumber, or find plumber near me.
right.
And what do they do? I get a list of, I don't know, whatever is on the first page, maybe, I don't know, ten plumbers. So what do? You call the first one. And then the first one doesn't answer. So I need to hang up and call the second one. Then the second one, there's a voice message. I leave a voice message. Then I call the third one. The third one says he's not available tomorrow at 2 p.m. That's the one I wanted. And then I have
Yeah,
to call again. So you're all day trying to call and get hold of, a plumber, trying to figure out their schedule when all their schedules can be in one place, and the software can actually help
yeah.
you find a plumber that you need.
So we're building again because we are in the same ecosystem. We are both co-founders through the 10x incubator and partners with Grant Cardone and Jared Yellen. And similarly, we are building Kittable, which is the marketplace that connect the cottage food industry and operators with the people who want to eat certain type of foods and they don't have access to restaurants or whatever else. So we're trying to create the freedom food law for people to have the right to eat what they want from wherever they want. And I am pushing towards authenticity and exotic food. That was already my inspiration there. So I have to ask you this question: when you put out an app like this or a service like this or a software technology, the biggest challenge, of course, is to get the first people to buy into using it, or do that first subscription. And like you, I am actually reflecting on how would I be attracting my first 1,000 subscribers, for instance, to come and become vendors and become food makers through my app and sell. So what are you thinking, or where are you in terms of thinking about how to fish for those first subscribers, and what are the different environments you're tapping into to get your app, your software known to those who need it?
Yeah, that's a very important question. The one that that's the one I think all of us in the 10x community, I mean 10x incubator ecosystem, where that's one of our big homeworks. Like, how do we solve this this main problem? Like, how do we start from scratch, right, to expand and become a big company, right? That's our goal, right? That's what we want. So I think I heard Eric. Eric is our great chief, was it strategist of growth, right?
Yeah,
Growth,
development.
or
Yeah.
growth development. Yeah. So I remember actually in our meeting in Delray Beach, he said something super important about the key here is to get the first 1,000 users. Then it's something that it's a proof of like the concept is working. Like, if you have the first 1,000 users, then it's telling you that it's proof that the concept is working. So that will be our target or our goal. So my goal in this case will be to get the first 1,000 users. For me, there's the easy part and not so easy part. The easy part, I know I can get uh, the clients part, not the professionals. The clients, I mean, anybody can just download the app and be like, oh, I want to search for professionals. Now my challenge would be to get the other side, the professionals, to actually put their services out there. So I think that's what will be my challenge mainly. But I can get to manage maybe 100 or 200 to start, because I know a lot of people that I work with and they're close to me, friends, family, clients. I can get to that. Then I will have to work on getting the rest to get to the 1,000. But Eric did give me really good tips on how to scale, to grow. And he was saying about the Chamber of Commerce, to get all the professionals on board. So I will need to contact someone in that department to spread the word and for people to know about this, the software.
So you are working on this company that you're building with the 10x incubator, which is already a good amount of work there and dedication. And you're also a real estate agent. How do you manage all the different aspects of your life? Tell us a little bit about your time management and your maybe. And I've like I said, I've met you at the 10x incubator. You have just this bright energy and smile and positivity. How do you create such a mindset for yourself to be able to handle more than one task at a time and kind of just be on the top of it and even have a big smile and come to my show? How do you do it?
You're so sweet. I actually love your energy. You're always like the person in the meetings, when you're always like outspoken, you always participate, and I love your energy. You're the one that I think participates the most, and we love that. We love to hear you, to hear your comments, and to hear your questions. And yeah, and I guess I think since I became a mother, that helped me a lot to to try to juggle many things at one time. Being now my son is 8 years old, and I think that prepared me for this moment, to trying to take advantage of time. Like, don't let just you know just try to get as much as you can in one day. So I try to work out in the morning. Sometimes that's why I miss some of the meetings in the mornings, because I work out in the morning. But I try to make some time for our meetings. And yeah, trying to I'm a real estate agent. So just being a real estate agent, you have flexibility. There's not a 9 to 5 job. So I can always tell my clients that I'm going to be available later, or we can arrange a different time. So that helps me a lot, actually, my profession.
Uncle G is also something, another thing that we have in common. I joined the 10X movement and community about it actually early this year. And I attended a couple of in-person meetings because, I mean, you are right there. I live 4 hours away, so I don't find it like I shouldn't have any excuses just driving myself down there for hours when some people are flying literally from all over the world just to be in that environment. What does it mean to be a 10x member? What does it mean to be part of this amazing ecosystem? And I probably have like 4 or 5 copies of the 10x rule itself. What does it do to you? The reason I'm saying this is because it has changed my life, literally. I mean, being part of Grant Cardone's community and this movement has completely changed my life. How did it impact you, and how is it changing your life as well?
I don't know where to start. I mean, I tell everyone around me about this new discovery that is Grant Cardone for me. I mean,
Right?
it's just like they don't even believe me. And I actually I have the book, like 10x rule, and I gave it to my sister. I'm like, read it. I give it to my father, read it, and they think I'm obsessed with Grant Cardone, but I really like him. There's something about him that just draws me to him. There's something that we connect somehow, or I understand what he's trying to deliver, like I said before. And well, just trying to spread his ideas, the way he works, the way he just has this ambitious goals. You need to have it, I think, within you too. Some people are more, relaxed, they're not very stressed about, their goals, I guess, or they don't have goals or something like that. But for me, I always wanted to, do more and achieve more, but it was never like written like he did, like Grant Cardone did. He just wrote it in a very clear way that it, for me, was like, yeah, this is exactly what I was thinking. But, nobody actually wrote it down. So 10x for me is, yeah, 10x is always trying to be better. Like, it's about the money, but it's not about the money. I know people like around me, they're like, oh, he wants more and more and more and more. Yeah, it's actually not the having more money. It's like what he's saying, he's the light. So it's how bright can you shine? Like, what is your capacity? It's more than the money, it's the capacity. Are you able to do more independent of the money? Of course, we all want money, we all want to be wealthy, but besides just the number, like, can you do more? Are you capable of, like, why only 1 million? Why not 10 million? Why not 100? Why that limit? Why are you limiting yourself to do that amount when there's no limits? And I think that's the that changed my mind. Like, there's no limit. Like, how much can you grow? And I think that's the key.
There's actually a famous say that a lot of people, the anti-money mindset, use, and it says, "Money cannot buy happiness." Of course, I don't agree with that deeply. They don't know the context of this say. The say was actually an argument between two car race drivers, and I forgot the brands. I think between ah a Porsche or something, like big big names, right? Two big names of car race drivers who one attack the other one and say, oh, money cannot buy happiness, in a way that I have also a very good car. But this is already at the highest level. So I like always to go back to this say, because it is really, really not true that money cannot buy happiness, because with money, you have impact, you have access to impact. And then also believing that money is evil. I always warn, when I coach people, when they think about money, I hate money, money is evil, money is this, that you cannot attract what you hate. You cannot attract what you despise. So at the end of the day, when you feel like you're completely broke, maybe you need to look into the way you feel about money. And it became such like almost a sinful thought to want to acquire money. And here is me. The way I look at it, it's like you need money for everything, really everything, right? And if you want to have a huge impact and make a difference in people's lives and leave a legacy and build an empire for your kids and whatever, that requires ingenuity. That requires resources, not necessarily money in the terms of how we think about it, but it requires to get out of your box and your thinking and try to make the impossible happen. So part of what Grant actually helped me see, to be honest with you, is be at peace with the desire to acquire money, because that money will help you build the life you want. And then also how we feel about sales. And I don't mean to get into selling or sales right now, because it's a huge topic that we need also the right mindset to even be able to understand what sales is about. It's about transformation. I need something that you have. So it only makes sense that you bring it to me and then I pay you for your services. It's that simple. But people are creating these negative connotations of what is essential to human existence and continuity, which is money and self. And these are two things that actually I completely changed my mind, to be honest with you, when I met Grant Cardone. And I am very grateful that he helped me understand that there is no business, there is no continuity, there is no food on the table, there is no roof on over the head, there is no car driving, there is no essentials of life, and creating the world you desire without these components, without acquiring money, investing, whatever you want to do. And then, of course, that transactional relationship that you create with people. What have been your biggest challenges getting into building a tech company?
Challenges. Well, you mean by myself? Yeah, I think that's the challenge.
Challenges, just
Trying to
again,
do it by yourself. I think that was because I did have the idea once I came up with this frustration and I thought maybe there's a way to solve this. Then I'm like, what do I do now? Like, okay, I have this idea. I don't have the technical background to do it. So it's like, how do I take the next step? Like, what do I do? And actually, the first thing I did was contact. Uh, um, there was a man that was working into like an accounting firm, and I asked him because he had he was like a software, a technician, and I'm like, oh, I have this idea. Why don't we do it, you and me together? And I told him my idea. I was not afraid to say it because everybody's telling me, don't say your idea, don't say your idea. They're gonna steal it. They're gonna steal it. And I'm like, no, but I at least I need to say it to see,
brainstorming. Yeah, yeah.
right? Are you weren't you afraid of telling your idea once you had it, or
Well,
not?
actually, for me, the 10x incubator was the response or the answer that I've been waiting, or that I was waiting for.
Mm,
Actually, my idea, I shared it with a couple of people before, and I approached two, one from my country, a serial entrepreneur as well, and then another friend of mine from Pakistan. So, and we were gonna do it together, right? Like originally, the my friend from Pakistan and I were gonna partner and do it, and then his father passed away, and there were just like
mm,
other things in the way, and I felt like it was not moving. There was no action taken, and then also someone from my country, and then it didn't go beyond just like the conversation, but both conversations were very positive, very, oh my god, we love it, let's do it. And then sometimes it just that's the issue, that when the idea is expressed and there is no action,
mm,
and we're going to be talking about the moonshot in a minute. When there is no that massive action where you see you're progressing, that partnership is most likely not going to happen. The people that you're going to be partnering with and making whatever happen are those who say, wow, we love it, what's the next step? And you feel that momentum.
mm,
If the momentum drops a bit, it dies. That just,
mm,
how like how many times, even in dating or in anything, you want to, or you go to a conference and you're pumped and excited, and then there is no additional offer, or there is no continuity, or there is no next level or action taken, then you come home and it becomes like, oh, the conference was good. Oh, but I had a great first date, because the momentum slows down and the
True.
energy lowers. And that's why I love the 10x rules, because they tell you fill your calendar, push and push and push and push. So that's why when I went to the business boot camp and Jared Glant actually announced the 10x incubator, I swear to God that in that very moment, I felt like something, my gut feeling was telling me this is happening for me. And the same day, I approached no, Jared Glant, and he's like, oh, actually, this is the guy you need to talk to. And Jared Yellen was next to him. And they were,
No.
yeah, and they were heading out to dinner. So then I looked Jared Yellen and I said, you got a minute? And he's like, we're literally going to Grant Cardone's dinner. And I'm like, 60 seconds. And I said, less than that. And I pitched the idea. And from that moment on, I knew that this was meant to happen. And this is really, really important. So I wasn't afraid to share my idea. And
Mhm.
then I wasn't afraid to walk away when not enough action was taken. But in my heart, even though I put it on a back burner, the second another opportunity came that was going to be moving me faster on that, I took it. So now my goal is to start, scale, and sell within probably the next 2 to 3 years. Done. In my mind, I'm like rolling on that. So tell me about how you are approaching, idea to start, to scale, and sell.
To start, well, just finishing of what I was telling you about. So I approached this guy, and then again, like the momentum fell. Like he liked the idea, but then nothing happened because then it took a few weeks for him to contact like a developer, a software developer, and all that. And then the software developer said, "Yeah, it's a good idea, but you will have to invest like $200,000." And we're like, where are we going to get that money? So we were like a little overwhelmed, and maybe that stopped him as well from the process. And it was just him and me. And I thought, I think I need a team more than just me or me and someone else. I think we need a team. And then that's when I actually have him on my feed, and it says 10x incubator, pitch your idea to us. And I'm like, this is a sign, I have to do it. I'm like, what do I have to lose? I
Trust
mean,
me.
what am I losing? Nothing. I mean, it's just an idea, and I wanted to try to make it come true. So I was like, I have to try. And then I did an awesome presentation. I tried to put everything very clear. I was, nervous too. It was my first pitch, and it was a long time, like an hour and a half. We had a long presentation, and they gave me, they had questions for me. And then they loved it. They loved it and said, we want to go to market. I mean, they were so sure about my idea that they have no doubt that it was such a great idea. They say, we don't do this very often, we want to go to market. And I was like, wow. And I felt like the conviction, like, yes, this is exactly what I thought it was. And they could see my vision too. That made me super happy. And I was, from that day on, I'm super motivated. I took all the necessary steps, try to get the company going on, go to the meetings, just follow with all the steps that comes by being one of the members, one of the co-founders here in 10x incubator.
And we also have really to talk about the fact that the 10x incubator is a bit different from the regular 10, incubators. I spoke to a couple of incubators. Oh, I forgot that the third person that I talked to was an incubator here. They loved the idea also. They wanted to get me on board, but it was like paying a certain amount of like a fee to join for 6 weeks or whatever. And then at the end, you have like your whole planning of what it's going to be and so on and so forth. And that was it. What I really like about the 10x incubator is the whole partnership and kind of moving along the stages together. Uh, from the moment that this came about and I joined this community, there is constant support, people answering questions and guiding you through the thoughts and the emotions and the ups and the downs, and kind of like having people thinking with you along the way. And it's not just any people, it's people with a lot of experience and expertise and access to resources, and just like the whole ecosystem is wonderful. And that's why I always show up at the 9:30 a.m. meeting, because
Yeah, you
it really
do.
helps me, yeah, build the sense of belonging. I think for me it's also that part of I belong somewhere.
Yeah,
I don't
yes.
know if
And
you
we
heard.
should be very proud, Shava. We're the first ones. We're like the
Yeah,
originals, they say. What do they
first
what do they
adopters,
call us?
the first
Originals.
adopters. Yeah, we are the originals, and we are the first, the pioneers or the first adopters. So, uh, on one hand, it's good for us, but on the other hand, it's like we are going through the waves, and we don't have anybody like who's done it. So we're like the first ones
Exactly.
putting the pillars. So where do you see yourself with regard to AppLinks a year from now, 2 years from now? Like, what is your moonshot?
Well, my moonshot, I want to help millions and millions of people all around the world. And the amazing thing about this software, AppLinks, is that it can be in any city in the world. It doesn't have to be just United States. It can be, in South America, Europe, Asia. It's just about people trying to find help, with, professionals. I think it's worldwide. It's a worldwide demand. So for me, it's almost limitless. It's millions and millions of people.
And it should be that way. And what is your call to action? What would you tell people who have ideas to solve a problem and they are sitting on it, afraid, to share something you and I, clearly didn't do. We were not afraid to share our idea and take action on it. So, what would you tell these people who could be solving, one of the biggest world problem, and they're just like afraid or sitting on it or waiting for God knows what? What do you say? What's the call to action?
I encourage them. I actually tell my friends about it. I'm like, if you have an idea, go for it. I mean, I can actually help them, guide them, like where do they need to direct them, where do they need to pitch or what do they need to know. But I totally encourage them. I mean, it's the future. I mean, the more people can get ideas to find solutions to problems, I mean, what else would you like? I mean, we want to make the world a better place, and for me, it's about efficiency. Like Jared always say, "What do you stand for? What do you stand for?" Well, I stand for efficiency, and that's what I stand for. I get frustrated when I see something that, from in my eyes, is so simple, but it's so hard to get it done. I'm like, why is it so difficult? The other day I had to wait like 4 or 5 hours for the cable guy to come because they have a range, like a time range. He's like, oh yeah, he'll be there next Thursday from 8 to 12. And
Yeah.
you don't know what time the guy is going to show up, so you cannot leave the house or do anything. I'm like, can at least they call me 30 minutes before they're going to be here? Oh yeah, we can do that, but I'm somewhere else. I need to. So it's like, why is there not a way that I can, set a time and just make it more efficient? And actually, just adding a little bit more information about the AppLinks, the company that I'm building. It's going to help us with the time estimate from travel too. So if you hire a painter, he's on the way because of the GPS. He's stuck on traffic. Oh, he'll be here in 20 minutes. So you will know how much how much time it will take for that person to show up. And I also didn't tell you my special feature that I'm very, very, very excited about.
Tell me.
We will have voice command.
Oh,
Voice
nice.
command is a game changer. Do you know what it means if I just get my phone, I said, Siri, find the plumber tomorrow at 2? I mean,
Yeah.
that's it. I don't have to type. I don't even have to swipe my credit card because Siri is going to tell me, for tomorrow, we have Dobby's plumbing and sparkling plumbing. Which one would you like? And I say, Dobby's is fine. And then she would say, would you like me to charge your credit card on file? And I would say, yes, please. And that's all you need to do. And you hang up. I mean, that will be a game changer.
And that's what we need to understand, that there are so many inefficiencies in the world, and especially as life changes, and we are Just think about how much life has changed for us with COVID, and then we will never go back to old lifestyle. Like I'm thinking about, for instance, Kittable. We're going to be connecting people to sell their big goods to consumers. Well, they used to do it on Facebook. Have we not seen what happened with Facebook and the shutdown for 8 hours lately? And then they sell on farmers market. Well, have we not seen how empty farmers markets are right now because of the COVID and the weather and so on and so forth? This is what we want to do through the 10x incubator, is really to solve real life, I love your word, inefficiencies. Normally we call them problem, but let's call them
Mhm.
inefficiencies, waste of time, waste of energy, waste of resources. What if
True.
we are coming up with solutions that give you back time, that give you back your freedom to choose, and just like be more effective, efficient throughout your day? And this is a huge, especially as our demands, our life demands are changing, and so should the way we do things. So, Caroline, my love, thank you so
Mhm.
much for being here. Such a pleasure hearing more about your company, and I am rooting for you. And of course, we're going to be doing this together. Just a quick thing here. I have a viewer says, wonderful speaker, Shaba Shams. Thank you, Tawsif. He's a regular one. And then Ali says, amazing, thank you. I don't see any questions from the viewers. So thank you guys for being here. Caroline, thank you so much for taking the time of coming to Learn and Earn with Shaba, and as we continue inspiring, empowering, connecting the citizens of the world to create success, whatever that means to you, and achieve financial freedom, because you are worth it. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you, Shava. You were amazing, like you always are. And, I will never forget this meeting that we just had because it was my first podcast. So this is very special to me. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you guys for being here and watching and taking the time as well to join us today. I will see you on the next time or the next one on Learn and Earn, a pod show with Shaba. And for now, salam.